What type of film audience member are you?
Well, I like to go to my local cinema because I can get it for free because my mates work there. So whenever there's a new film out, I tend to go.
I'm the type of film audience member that goes about once a month or when a very good film comes out.
Quite a casual film audience. I don't go to the cinema more than once a week, I would say. And only when there's a film I'd like to see on. I don't go to cinema to see like random films.
Typing likes to try to go at least once a week because film plays a big part in my life. So yeah, at least once a week, or maybe more if there's a really big, blockbuster must-see film out.
What are your favourite genres?
Well, I like English gang violence films and just generally that gritty working your way to the top. That's the type of films I like, and a lot of action, to be honest, and maybe some thrillers with murderers. I like that type of stuff.
Favourite genre would be action and crime because I think they pack a lot into that. It's interesting to watch.
Probably gangster movies. My dad got me into watching gangster films. And I quite like action films as well, the odd action film.
I like all kinds of films, to be honest with you, and I know it's very a broad way to look at it, but I quite like romantic comedies, I quite like zombie action films, I like gangster movies, I like something that has to have a good structured narrative. The story has to be spot on for me, really, and you usually get that from thriller films as well.
How important are opening sequences to you?
Well, an opening sequence really kind of makes or breaks the film because a film with a very slow start and quite boring opening sequence, it kind of deters me from watching the rest of it. But I guess an action-packed quite exciting one, which dictates the genre of the film, kind of makes me want to watch the film a bit more and get to know the story and pay more attention.
Very important because opening sequences can make you feel involved in the film as well. And if you haven't got that element, then I'm not going to look at the film, to be honest.
Quite important because if they're boring then you won't carry on watching the rest of the film. You've got to have something to entice you into watching the rest of the movie.
I think a bad opening sequence instantly gives negative connotations to the rest of the film, and it could turn audience members away. When a film doesn't have a particular target audience, or the wrong target audience show up to a film, the opening sequence really needs to draw them people in. So it has to have elements that will appeal to everyone, the casual goer, the target audience, the non-target audience, and people of every age basically. So it has to firmly establish the tone of the story and the mood of the film.
What are the most memorable opening sequences you have seen?
Well, currently, the most memorable one was from The Hobbit. I saw that quite recently at the IMAX, biggest screen in the UK, with my AS Media class, and yeah, it was very memorable because you got to know a bit more depth about the Lord of the Rings mythology and the story, and about how the dragon forced the dwarves out of the mountain, and I found that very interesting. And it was action packed as well, so you wanted to watch it, and you didn't feel you had to watch it.
I think The Expendables was the most interesting one because there was a lot of action, a lot of drama in the first opening bits. So I was I felt involved in it. So that was a good film.
The last opening sequence I watched was opening sequence of Les Mis. It was quite memorable because Hugh Jackman is the main character in the film, and you're introduced to him straight away, and he's singing, and obviously Les Mis is a theatrical movie, so it was quite memorable, and the makeup and everything was good. So yeah.
I recently watched a film called The Divide, where they had this woman looking out the window at a nuclear blast, and she was watching a whole city get decimated by the blast, and then suddenly her father or a boyfriend grabbed her and pulled her away from the window, and she turned around and she was running out of the house, and there was all people around her running, and it was a quick transition from calm the calmness of just her looking out the window to chaoticness. And I think a good opening sequence has elements that shock and entice people into the film as well. It really makes them stick in their mind.
What would you like to see in an opening sequence?
Well, I would really like to see like a lot of action, maybe like a little teaser of the story. So I feel like I can't leave the cinema because I'm bored. Like I have to wait, like stay till the end.
A lot of action, a lot of crime. I like to see like guns and that a lot. So a lot of shooting, a lot of, you know, like bad guy, good guy, yeah, all that, and maybe some superhero stuff like the Avengers, because that was quite good as well. So yeah.
I wouldn't like to see a main character that you've been introduced to get killed straight away, because you might warm to them and then be like shocked that they've died or been cut out of the movie.
I think for me, something I would not like to see is just too much lad hustle and bustle just thrown into things, because then it feels like a very generic film. Like you've just seen it all before. If you see lots of gun violence or people shooting, there has to be a reason for why the action is happening for me. So if you just introduce to like people with big muscles and, you know, perfect shaped women running around shooting people, it's just so stuff. I don't really get stuff like that. I just don't like it. I don't enjoy it.